Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And we are prayerful that today is a blessed, beautiful day with the mercies flowing from on high as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. It is only through your participation, your active engagement, that we can actually make things happen. And we can choose to do or not to do. And is that what we intend? Is it positive and productive? Is it meaningful and purposeful? Is it going to benefit others? Well, just a matter of your perspective, So 949-837, 949-6990. We want you to call and share your thoughts with us. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And as we invite you to share your thoughts, let's go straight to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dwayne. Sterling Ebanks, how are you?
Good afternoon to you. And it's Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Come on down. You are the man in the plan and ready to run. Let's go. What's up?
Okay, don't you call out my name next time when I call back, okay?
Say my name.
Not on my name.
No. Listen. It's good,
All of them. Mm-hmm.
There you
Are
go.
you doing okay?
I am. How about you?
Pretty good, thankful. You look nice in your pink shirt yesterday. Is it Cancer Month? I saw something on Facebook. Is it Cancer Month? No? No.
I
saw something on Facebook. People with a lot of pink clothes on, and I was going to hit you up on it yesterday. I said, no, I'm going to leave alone.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that because, yeah.
Years ago, you couldn't get a man to put on anything in pink.
Well, I must have been different because, I guess I'm so secure in my masculinity that I'm in touch with my femininity, and I love my sensitivity because I know my strength of character just takes me through by the grace of the good Lord. I'll be at my peak. I'm good. I have no problems with that.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't mention pink to men days gone by, but men do look good in pink, and some men don't even know it.
What do you think that they did? They're insecure in their masculinity, they're closet,
Yeah, something in that category, and the first thing to say, pink is for girls, and I love pink.
Well, I'm for girls too.
Girl.
So see?
I'm a pink girl.
Sorry.
I'm a pink girl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think I probably have a break in 2 minutes, so let's get rolling.
Hey, listen. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in labels, My dad never ascribed blue for boy and pink for girl. He said a job needs to be done, get it done, get it help, and get it done right the first time. So it don't matter, Mm-hmm. We draw alongside. People need to wake up and recognize that just that loud, mud, obnoxious thing making plenty noise sometimes needs to be just put in the corner and be quieted. And those who speak need to speak with purpose, So let's make it happen, man. I'm listening to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I was talking yesterday in regards to the little church there in South Sound Road, when I look at the roads that is tenement yard, God, they've tenants' car parked out on both sides of the road. And there's no signs like what they got up by that church that it has to be an NRA made sign. It's red and white and it's look just like what government makes. You understand?
Mm-hmm,
No makeshift there by me or you or somebody else. It's official. It's an official sign.
Okay.
And to see that you can go and put that by a church just for like an hour and a half, it max is 2 hours for 4 Sundays of the month. It is. I can't find a word right now. But to say that, why is it that we got rentals going on throughout the whole island, and there's nowhere to park for the tenants, but yet you don't see anybody going there putting a sign saying no parking, no parking. Let me give an example. Down there where the fish shack was located, and they got a new building there now, right? You see it on the left-hand side going back to on the waterfront, across from Robert Crib. Not quite across that, nearby.
On the water.
Anyhow, yeah. Now, Sterling, did this say that you have to give X amounts of your property to help with our roads, give roads, to make our roads and give more space and yakety. But I noticed now that people is building, and they call themselves giving a piece of the property for road use, but then they turn around and turn it into a parking lot for their buildings. You call that giving road access to make what we got bigger, or whatever the case may be, or wider, whatever the case may be, but yet you're going to turn around and then make it available for you to park cars on the outer band of it, and you still don't have no more extra road than normal. You still got your width of road from day one. I mean, Sterling, what I can't understand is that, some places, I guess years gone by, and we still got some of that happening right now in Barton Town. Majority of the homes is pretty close out front, and that was cut from day one. You understand? So it's not really much you can do to a degree. But anybody who's cutting anything now, they should be able to give sufficient and leave it there to be used for part of the government when they're going to do whatever they're going to do in the future. Don't go and turn around and use it, turn it into your parking lot, for your business. And you got businesses that don't even have a place to park for the customers to come to. Let me give an example. Look at the glass house, the government building. Look at the government staff that is parking that building on a daily basis, including Radio Cayman. And then the customers that want to go to the glass house to do business, they got to go and park across the street and come over. Can you imagine? Right. You would think that the government staff would park over there and shuffle back and forth, and the customer that go into the glass house is the one that's coming in and out, and on a daily basis. Yeah,
but I mean, staff do park across the street. But I hear you, and then not to justify it, but we look at even just in town, we see businesses that are located in one spot and parking, a distance away, probably walking, not necessarily being shuttled from that remote parking to the business. So parking is an issue. I hear you.
Yeah, and the thing with it too, Sterling, when the majority of these companies are downtown Georgetown, some of them have been there for a good while, and the business has grown, and the staff has grown, so that's why they start buying these little side piece of properties to make their staff park in there, and then they got to shuffle across and walking in the rain or sunshine or whatever the case may be. But before you throw me off of this radio, I got to say something that is very important, and I'll probably get fired today after this, but I'm going to say it because the only place they can send me is Cayman Brack or Little Cayman, and I know that Judo wanted to want me Cayman Brack because she think I got problems. I got to my mouth come up there to live. And no disrespect to Miss Julie. Sterling, the school system. I noticed that a lot of schools, especially the primary schools, and I experienced something this morning at the bigger school. Parents have to go to work. The traffic is crazy. And when you got to have the school gates closed until 7:30, and parents are parked up out there trying to drop their child off and can't move because the gate is closed.
Wow.
And the parents is trying to walk their way into Georgetown to go to their job. Now, Sterling, they got one or two little securities here and there. I understand that they're raising the teachers' salary sometime this month. Hey, more power to them, but put some more job descriptions in their pocket with that money. And when I say that to the fact, okay, Sterling, every day of the week, there should be so many teachers assigned to go to school. They go to school and help accept these children with the securities. Let them have their breakfast, unwind, and then go to their classrooms.
Mm-hmm. These
kids should not be sitting out of parents sitting out of a locked fence, waiting for the fence to open.
Who's
They got to come into Georgetown to go to school.
Right.
You wonder where they're happening? Just about every primary school.
Right.
I even saw private schools doing the same thing too.
So who, in your mind, who's responsible for having that gate open?
Well, it's Sterling. Let me just say this first. Okay, let's say John Gray, right? John Gray has a lunchroom, huge cafeteria. And this morning when we drop off children, students, when I look back, I see them all outside line. Also, I see the driver, I said, oh my goodness, they're not getting in this morning. And then when we drove and went a little bit further down, there was a bunch of kids outside standing, waiting for this canteen to open. And Sterling, who is responsible to have these places open? I do not really know, but somebody needs to look into it that make these children come inside.
I was going to say that from what you shared, that maybe it was just an instance in this case that perhaps the person responsible was just caught up with something else. But if you say this happening across other campuses, other schools, then maybe it's the new policy. So do you know what time the school gate is supposed to open? Is it on timer? Is it 7:45? It opens at 8.
Sterling, Sterling, sweetheart. Forgive me for calling you sweetheart. I hope it doesn't.
No, it don't offend me. I mean,
but
better have
Sterling,
a sweetheart than a sour heart.
Sterling, the fact of the matter is, the traffic is getting worse and worse every day.
Right.
The CCCC gate was closed this morning as well too, and Savannah Primary, Red Prospect Primary, and God knows how many more. Now I saw it at John Gray this morning, 7:00. The canteen was not open. The kids all on the compound waiting for the canteen to open. What I'm trying to say is, Sterling, those kids has to come to school early because of the traffic, and parents has to go to work.
Right.
These teachers is making more money than some of these parents that got a job out here in this island. So what I'm saying is assign so many teachers per day for the 5 days of the week to be there on the compound to help assist with these children, that the parents can go to their jobs.
Right.
And some of these parents go to the job frustrated, upset, hungry, can't function for half of the day. A lot of stuff is going on.
Yeah.
And they talk about mental health You're not helping the parents if you're going to make the parents sit in the sun for 30 minutes.
You're starting the day off in a bad way. Yeah.
Starting the day off in a bad way.
Yeah. All right. Well.
And Sterling up behind the new John Gray School and the Truman Boarding Center. There needs to put an officer behind there because in the evening time for pickup, you cannot get through there with the buses and the cars is parked left, right, and center, and there's not one police officer up back there directing traffic to make sure that these cars is parked properly and the buses can get through to go and pick up the students off of the compound.
Well, thank you for that, and I'll maybe speak to that as we come back from the break. Hey, thank you for that. Join us after. Please stay tuned.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just the delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Mom and Dad. School is nearly back in session. Is your child ready for the school year? Stop by Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village and pick up all your child's stationery supplies. You won't need to break the bank to get your little one prepared for the school year. You have enough to worry about. Make back to school a breeze with Savannah Pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, or call 946-3336. Savannah Pharmacy supports your education in our small community. That's why the first 20 customers will receive a free fully stocked school bag. Savannah Pharmacy. We love our community.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. It's 949-8037, 949-6990. It's open line as we take your calls. Hopefully we can connect up on the WhatsApp if that's possible. That number is 925-32621. Of course, you can call toll free at 1-800-534-8255 and share your thoughts with us. All right, sorry, that WhatsApp call was just ringing. Try it back again, see if we can get you. We'll see how that works, right? The last caller always makes great points, and those who recognize would appreciate that, she comes from a considered perspective. And as we go into this next call, maybe two things. Maybe just a scheduling thing, the first few days of school, it doesn't matter if we've been doing it for centuries or, that was the first day each day. But then the policing that she's calling for in relation to helping with the traffic management and the parking, well, we are adults, right? We should be a little bit sensible, considerate when we pick up our children. Is there a way? I mean, the issue might be the way the roads are. It may be just, mindset. But do we always need police to tell us what to do? Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing really good enough. You can hear me good?
Yes. And are you able to hear me?
Oh, yeah. These new earphones have been treating me good this week.
Oh, man. There's a part of me want to make a joke, but I'll leave it be for now.
Well, I to answer that last question that you had asked just now, I say no. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't like it, honestly, to be honest. I am a big boy now. I don't need anybody to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, I mean, people... Yeah, I agree with you. I mean... Yeah.
So what happened is... So, Mr. Sterling, I got to have to call you back. I got my daughter now. She want my attention.
No, listen, that is a priority. You go tend to what is important, and you call when you can, all right? See, that's...
I thought I would have got a little chance. Now, my police telling me what to do now.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, congrats, man. You go and do your thing, man. And this is where I think as parents, we make that commitment, that absolute dedication and determined effort, to our children. Not that we're going to give them everything they want. We probably would like to, but hopefully we have the wisdom to know what to and what not to and when and the like. And, as parents, we've probably seen an example where when it comes to our children, we are, very, very, committed to them. We don't do things selfishly. We hopefully do it prayerfully and with purpose and, through wisdom, both from our own experiences, but hopefully the guidance of others who've said, listen, this worked in this case, this didn't work. And that's how unfortunately, when we talk about the village, it's become a cliche, and it's just something that has been spouted politically by some pundits with little or no meaning anymore. Let's take this next call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
And to you, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I am absolutely terrific.
Okay, I am just calling to appeal to all the Caymanians to read the Cayman Compass that was out and published on Friday about all of the students that went off to college, came back with all kind of degrees, and have never, ever had a chance to get a job on the island. A lot of them are saying that they have to go to other parts of the world, other parts of the U.S., anywhere to get a better job. Some of them are saying that they didn't even get a chance or anything to even prove themselves. It is very heart-rending to see what we Cayman children have to go through. They leave their island, they leave their home, they leave their families. They spend 4 or 5 years, maybe some longer years, at least 6 years, come back hoping they have a good future. And when they come back, there is nothing. There was this little guy that said he had came back with all kind of degrees, had to leave his country, go to another part of the U.S., and to get a job that is well paid, and he has what you call authority, that he can have a business there. He said he will not be returning to the island because there is nothing that he can do here to support his family. He has no way of seeing a future to get a house or anything for his family. So he's appealing to all Caymanians. You know, they're telling, oh, we're going to give you a scholarship or we're going to do this. They go and they get the scholarships and they come back here and they are nothing for the poor Cayman children to do. What in the world is going on? We have teachers now that are getting all kind of money, double the wages, and they're not teaching our children. They are just getting that money, and then the thing is, it is all going out from the island when they retire. Government needs to look, our government, if we have a government, needs to look out for the Cayman people, the grassroots Cayman people that are smart, educated, and have degrees. Money that they are sending out of this island will never be able to support the true-born grassroots Caymanians, and it is so hurting to see we have so many smart, intelligent Caymanian people here that can fill those positions, that those teachers, you know what? They are saying the children are stupid and they're dumb. They're not trying with our children. They are only interested in getting that CI dollar to send back home, and then when they retire, they go back to their country, and all of the benefits they take with them. The poor Caymanians are here, being buried, looked down like garbage, and something has to be done. We need to get up, we grassroots Caymanians, and have a march because we are fed up. And something has to be done. Something has to be done. I don't know who's going to be the representatives for the next years, but I can tell you what, we need to get rid of any and everyone. I don't care who they are, where they come from, but we need to have a new government. And this is a true grassroots Caymanians telling you this. And I tell you, I have spoken to many Caymanians, and they're all fed up. Fed up. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for sharing it with such passion. All right, let's take this scheduled break, and when we come back, please share with us. Let's hear from you. Let's engage. Let's make it happen in a positive way. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The end of summer sale is happening now through September 14th at Beacon Furniture, offering discounts on selected furniture, 20% off lamps, and 50% off selected cushions. Refresh your home with gorgeous pieces from Beacon Furniture and save. Visit us at 386 Shamrock Road, opposite the Seafarers Hall. Call us at 943-2500 or check our website at www.beaconfurniture.ky. Beacon Furniture. Buy it today and have it in your home tonight.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube.
Download
our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for sharing with us. Toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp call 925-3261. Here are two other options. 949-8037 or 949-6990. To the last caller, one prior to, but to the last caller, what do you think of what she's saying? She shared that, what's happening in our country when either the individual with the support of parents and other family members, or there's a scholarship from government even, the Caymanian gets, qualified and come back and finding it challenging. Not to just find meaningful employment, but employment generally. When we have people who have gone to the law school here, for instance, and can't get articles, we saw that debacle, and have we resolved it? When we have children who have degrees in the business and financial services and can't get employment there, whether they have accounting degrees even. Now, what's happening? And when she alleges that in her schools, it would appear that despite the significant increases in pay and or other benefits and the amount of money that successive governments have invested in education, from the scholarships to the other things, we're finding two concerns. One, some schools, some classes, some teachers allege that they don't have sufficient resources for the supplies that they need. Do you remember that being, alleged not long ago? And then two, and perhaps even more egregious, the allegation that it would seem that the students are not being taught. There may be many reasons, but if the contention is something that revolves around the human dynamic, the teacher and or the parent and or the student, well, how do we address that? And then let's come full circle. I don't believe in saying I told you so. Now, guide me in this, because this is a personal ethos. I say to my friends, don't tell me you shoulda, coulda, woulda told me. That doesn't help me. Might like to hear it, but tell a person directly. This is a pothole ahead. You might want to slow down or go around. Don't say after the fact, I could have told you. That doesn't serve any purpose, and yet we do that. Many times we refuse to tell people something because in the past experience, when we did, we got kicked in the teeth for it. Or they say, well, you told me to do that, and they did it, and then they blame you for it. Now, we need to take responsibility, but we also need to be willing to be held accountable. and hold others as well. With that in mind, why do you think our children are leaving? Our young students can't find employment. Some are questioning about their future, not just for jobs but to own properties. Is that deliberate? Is it, as some have said, that it is a social re-engineering taking place? Or are people being deliberately displaced? Now, they may sound to some, yep, that's exactly what it is. Others say, no, that's inflammatory. But have we asked the question, do we, consider the impact? I did say this, and this is not to tell you so, and I only remember it because it was more than 10 years ago, right in this same studio, and I was, raked to the coals by some that I thought would be the greatest supporters and promoters, and they, you know what we're talking about. Well, if you coach, teach, mentor, or otherwise get involved with the lives of young people, you understand what they feel and they're saying. And 10 years later, we only now acknowledge it because who said it? Let me tell you more about that in a second, but let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, Mr. Sterling.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a great idea when the government opened the reception in front of the primary school. It's a great gesture, a good idea. But these kids that are in the reception, they tend to when they were going to a preschool, and I think when they get 4 plus 5, you get onto this reception to go into the government schools. Now, Sterling, I look at it this way: when they made that idea that you can take, they would start accepting the 5-year-old kids in reception. 4 to 5 years old kid in reception. It was good, but they never had no vision that where the kids going to go after school is over at 3 o'clock. Because when they was in the preschools, they were there until 5 and 6 o'clock when their parents picked them up. You understand? So now when it comes out of the recession class in the daytime, parents is having problems what to do with their children, and they don't have any after class at the school itself for that age. And then they do have some for older age, but this child at that age cannot go and join a 8-year-old and a 9-year-old that I was told, because there's one up here that my granddaughter couldn't go when she went to reception. And her brother was going to the after class area even after school when he got a certain age. But since she couldn't go when she went to the reception last year, then neither one, the brother didn't get to go to the after class, so we just took them down to their father or whatever the case may be. But what I'm trying to get to, Sterling, you can go and make a plan. You got plan A, but we must have plan B. We must have plan B when you're going to put something in the making that it has something to follow up on. As for an example, where do the children go at 3 o'clock when the parents is still working until 5 o'clock? And some places, they get very upset when the person comes back late, or they want to give them warning letters, and after a while they want to get rid of them. But everybody had a child at some point in time. You understand? And people get in this predicament. But the government needs, and now we have plan A, they need plan B, where this reception term would go at 3 o'clock in the daytime until the parents can come off of school. I am not trying to blame the system, no, 100%. Don't get me wrong.
No.
The fact of the matter is they could have gone to the preschool until they get 6 years old and go into year 1.
Yeah.
And then they could go into the after class that some schools have.
Right.
Some schools have after class programs. Not all of them has after class programs.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, all you're doing is identifying something that exists, maybe bringing it to attention to men who don't know, and asking, is there a way to make it a little bit better? You want it addressed to accommodate the children, right? That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm still asking whoever's putting all these banners up on the streets, all of the functions, not taking them down in time. There needs to go and penalize these big shot that comes in here and have all this promotion going on. They get their pocket full of money and they gone back out to wherever they come from and leave all these banners up on our roads. They need to look into. Thank you.
You're most welcome. And you know the invitation is a standing one that you can call anytime as much as you want. So thank you, right?
Yeah, y'all don't fire me.
No,
Okay,
no. You can't fire who's... And that's kidding. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
To the callers, sometimes some of us are unwilling to share because we know that we will face a bit of a backlash from others. And those tend to be the ones who, maybe at least expected. Say it's your own flea that bites you the hardest. But if, like the last callers and the one prior to this one, who shared, what are we going to do and what's happening? This isn't a problem that just popped up overnight, It's been in the making for decades. It probably compounded and became, the head 20 years ago. But still, we're not addressing what is happening. If he, would allow me to publicly thank him and commend him, there were others like him who joined him, but he has been a staying power. Samuel Jackson, when he was championing the legal practitioners legislation, or what is now the Legal Services Act, he was saying Caymanian lawyers find it challenging. There were not just the opportunities in an industry that were being denied to them, but there was great reputational risk of having someone who is presumably a lawyer, now this is my words interpreting from what I shared, who's in another jurisdiction outside of the Cayman Islands, who is offering, Cayman Islands law, charging for it, advising on it, but is not paying the fees into our treasury, into our courts, so the government is not benefiting from that. As it would normally if the person was here, but perhaps, as I understood him to share, more so, the reputational risk of this person, doing something, getting involved with something, perhaps being the subject of an investigation or otherwise in that jurisdiction that implicates the Cayman Islands jurisdiction, and now, beyond, the reach of our courts because the person isn't registered, licensed as a practitioner here. Not going to profess to understand all of it, but just on that basis, something to consider. But more importantly, the opportunities for Caymanian attorneys to get into the industry, those that are there to advance, it was a big debate that became emotive and maybe for many of us misunderstood. But again, if there are not more like Sammy's out there, like the lady to call and the one prior, who are willing to champion, to identify and to stand in the gap, where are we? So let's ask the question when it comes to some of the things the last callers just shared. When are we going to do something? If Caymanians can't have an opportunity in Cayman, why is that? And more importantly, where are they going to have opportunities? We're not talking 100 years ago or 50 years ago when they, like many people even today who come here, we went there, but they were, sending and intending, and they did return to help. But if the industries and the opportunities, whether it's an entrepreneurial activity, whether it's development, whether it's through education, advancement in a career, they can't benefit, what's the point? And the answer isn't violence. It may happen as a frustration, that may even may be the design. But you can't allow your people to be displaced. Now, if you think I'm being political, call and tell me, because I have no issue with that. But at the end of the day, if you don't stand for what you believe in, if you don't fight for your country, it's not to colonize, it's not to go and conquer. It is about ensuring that your people have an opportunity. And make no mistake about it, in your country, it's not about, that you should be entitled or you should, feel somehow in advance in your own that you're xenophobic. We've allowed many for too long to talk about things that should, instead of being considered a sense of national pride and identity and the obligation of our people to champion its own, to be somehow disparaged. Look at the fallacy of that. You got people in this country celebrating something that is not us, and yet we join in, and that's good. Shows that you're welcoming and accommodating. But when you demonstrate your own, you're xenophobic. Some people just need to have a good talking to. All right, we're going to use the take, and we want you to be a part of the continuing discussion right after the break.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. Award-winning Blue Planet and Planet Earth cameraman Doug Allen is the guest speaker at this year's 2024 Festival of the Seas, Coral Reef Horizons Gala in November. The Central Caribbean Marine Institute says it is using the annual Festival of the Seas Gala as a way to promote public interest in taking positive action for coral reefs at what is a critical time for the ocean. You can find out more by visiting reefresearch.org. In international headlines, Ukrainian authorities say at least 51 people have died and an estimated 200 are hurt after a Russian missile attack on Poltava. The BBC reports a military training institute was among the buildings hit, describing it as the single deadliest attack on Ukraine this year. A boat carrying migrants has capsized off the French coast in the English Channel. 12 people have been reported dead, with more than 50 rescued. Downing Street has described the news as, quote, truly horrific, and vowed to clamp down on gangs smuggling people who are taking even more dangerous risks. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority would like to thank you, the Cayman community, for voting us the Best of Cayman Islands 2024 in 13 medical categories. As the largest and longest healthcare provider in the Cayman Islands, we have been caring for you for many generations, helping the people of our islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott was a quiet-natured child who liked going on the bluff with his grandfather Oscar Brown, swimming every Saturday evening and playing cricket down where Miss Alamay's house sits now. He was very studious at Creek Elementary School and did very well under the tutelage of his favorite teacher, Miss Isley Connolly in BE. Following the tragic death of his father at sea, at age 14 he left school to work with Arnold Foster to support his family. In 1953 he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to boatswain. From 1953 until 2006, some 52 years, Captain Scott made his living working off the seas.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The phone lines are open if you want to share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 949-6990. Got a quick, and the person shared, listen, it's going to be a very quick abbreviated call. But wanted to know if I could, how did he put it, work my magic? And I thought, well, what does that mean? Well, what he inferred was, he shared something quickly with me, put it in a way that is palatable and hopefully will encourage more to share. His view is that in Cayman, many people, and not just Caymanians, but for some reason Caymanians in particular, But anybody who is genuinely invested in the country, interested in this continued stability, there's a reluctance. And in our brief exchange during the break, it was that maybe somehow they're fearful that they'll offend. So that desire to be polite. And that was primarily from the Caymanian perspective. The notion that they would like to talk to the issue without getting caught up into the notion that we're talking about people. And even to my point, he says, you just said that, and for those who are just joining us, into the break, I shared that if in Cayman, Caymanians celebrate Cayman and Caymanians, instead of that being seen as national pride, we've allowed people to repeat, and then we foolishly picked it up now and saying to ourselves, oh, that's xenophobic. Well, look up the definition of that word and ask if it is. The absolute need for us to revisit who we are and to determine whether there's a healthy respect for ourselves and for each other. You got people here who will champion this country and be castigated for it. You got people here who would openly castigate and condemn the Caymanian, and somehow that's okay. Well, if a man walks into your house and slaps you upside the face, kicks your dog, and knocks over your glass table and destroys your dishes, you say, don't take that. Some of the things that we hear people say, if we went somewhere else and did that, they wouldn't stand. No, not advocating violence. I'm asking how and when everybody who lives here going to have a healthier respect for this place, and for those that don't, to be reminded that they must. If not, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a call in the crew. Is that how we're doing, Miss Susan? Or you should select in the WhatsApp. Let's go there. Hey, thank you for on the WhatsApp for calling. Hello?
When I get a little chance, no.
Okay, well, after you, we'll go to the other line as well, right? So I'm glad you able to get that chance.
Yeah. So what? One thing that I've noticed, right, is that in our education system is almost like exactly how I remembered it. It's a set up for failure for some people. It's just that because the teachers can't teach the children in their way that they want to, it leads me to just realize that in the front of the school campus, I don't know how long that's been there, but it's called Early Intervention Program.
Yeah. But, okay, talk to me. And I want to ask, from your understanding, who is that early intervention program designed to accommodate? Which type
Government?
No, but is it for all students? Is it for only certain students that have been somehow, and I'll use the word very loosely in quotation marks, assessed as needing that? Or is it for all students?
It seems to me like it's for all students, and if it can't reach all students, this is where the intervention comes in, right?
Right. So it's not for all students then, because those two statements in my mind conflict. It seems to be for all students. Right.
All right. I don't think I'm going to get the little chance to talk about this.
Well, maybe that's saving me from you and you from what you're going to say. We'll pick it up another time when you're ready.
About it, yeah.
Okay. We'll pick you up. Thanks, man. Let's take the other line. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you today?
Man, listen. It's a Tuesday, right?
It's a Tuesday, but I don't know. Does Tuesday have a feel which is different from Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know.
You see, all days are great days, and they're better when we are part of it. And the more that we contribute and unite and stand in the gap, man, the better it becomes.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because many years ago when I was going through school and I came across the expression "in the year of our Lord," I always thought that there was a particular year which was a year of our Lord. I found out later on it is all years. All years are years of our Lord. So.
See, I took it differently, right? And I'm consciously now being mindful. It says, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, right?
Yeah, there's a song about that, yes.
Yeah. But you talk, I listen, I'll share, and you'll question, and then I'll answer, and then you'll answer my question. How about that?
Well, I think that'll be great.
There you go.
Well, you were just talking about the Legal Practitioners Act now.
Yeah.
And just some of the things that it went through when it was being enacted, as well as what it means today in terms of young prospective legal practitioners, Caymanian and other residents, and also how that might be reflective or emblematic of a more wider problem in the country.
Yeah.
You see, let me start with a very blunt statement. You know, the way I feel about Cayman, I feel that Cayman was sold a long time ago to outsiders, and particularly outsiders who have no interest in really the long-term stability of Cayman, okay? That's the way I feel, and I feel that all that is happening in these subsequent years is like they are delivering on that sale. There are a few more installments, and those installments will never end. That's the way I see it. I don't think it is cynical, because I think a lot of even indigenous Caymanians and other people who are not indigenous Caymanians have expressed the same view. Now, look at the legal practitioners bill. The community fought against that. They said just some of the things that you laid out. They said, well, look, how can you have people licensed to practice Cayman law in the UK, in Hong Kong, everywhere? And remember, it can be anywhere.
It can be anywhere.
So long as that firm or that lawyer is associated with a local firm, they can say they practice Caymanian law. In other words, you could be living in London, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, even in Timbuktu. You could be living there, and you are qualified to practice law, say, in the UK. You may never have come to the Cayman Islands. You may never have appeared in court in the Cayman Islands. You may have never done any kind of legal work in the Cayman Islands. But you can be licensed under that scheme as a person practicing Cayman law when you do not have even experience of Cayman law. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm speaking to you from Toronto, but you see, I drafted legislation in Cayman for 12 years. I was in part-time practice for 3 years. And even after I was forced to leave, because of being blacklisted and all that, to this day, I interact with people in the legal profession. There's somebody who is going to court sometime, I won't mention who. Only yesterday, I was trying to help them a little bit, what to do when they go to court. So if I said I wanted to be licensed to practice Cayman law from where I am, it can make sense because I've got a background. But this system which they instituted under the Legal Practitioners Bill Act, there is no qualification that you need apart from the fact that you are connected to a firm in the Cayman Islands. They did not even say, okay, fine, we will prescribe a small exam, maybe a multiple choice exam, which you can sit for 3 hours or 4 hours to just ensure that you know something about Cayman law. There's absolutely nothing. And yet you can practice Cayman law. Okay? I mean, that is a problem. Now, the broader problem is that the whole sale thing of Cayman having been sold. Today, Dwayne, we are talking about, again, immigration reform for the upteenth time. Do you know that the government, and I won't ask you the question and I won't put you on the spot, I believe that the government does not actually want immigration reform. They don't want it positively. Because if they wanted it, there are a few things which would have been different. First of all, since people complained and removed the government in 2003, 2004 because of mass grants, all the governments which would have been there since that time to today should have effected immigration reform, but they didn't. Now, suddenly, last year or so, or the year before, it became an issue. Let us have immigration reform. But in my view, the reason it has now come up again is because of the East-West arterial. You see, that has become a proxy for immigration reform because people are really saying there are too many people on the island. It takes 45 minutes to travel from Triple C to the wharf or something like that, And so now, through that issue of traffic, the government now is being told, well, part of the problem is not just the arterial or the lack of infrastructure, but it is actually an immigration problem. So what do? Now they want to pretend to be doing something by saying, oh, marriages of inconvenience, or marriages of convenience, Marriages of convenience. Marriages of convenience have been taking place in Cayman for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, there might be a little more now, but that is purely because there's a greater population. And how are you going to fundamentally change the fabric of society by marriages of convenience? They are very small. It's a small proportion. But more important, Dwayne, you've got the issue that they put together this committee, which was headed by the venerable Dr. Steve McField. They put together that committee. What has happened to the work of that committee? Today, Steve McField has gone public to say that he has, I don't usually like quoting people, but he has said this more than once on Radio Cayman, that he was removed from that committee because there were some people who wanted to talk to him, to influence him, and he refused to see them. They went to cabinet. They said, we want a law that will just say that only people by marriage or by descent can become Caymanians. And cabinet said, no, that's not good enough. You go and look at other things. And after they did that, suddenly now the work of that committee is dead. And you can be sure almost that with about 6 months before the election, they are not likely to bring any drastic legislation relating to that. The only person in government I believes in immigration reform is Kenneth Bryan. I will mention him because he has mentioned it himself many, many times on your show and other shows. He is the only one. The rest of them are just pretending to be doing something. Actually, they don't intend to do anything. That's why I agree with those callers who have said more than just changing the government next time, there must be people action. To go out there and say, look, this is what we want. Because to me, once in a country, you get to a point where the government is not acting in good faith. In my view, this government is not acting in good faith. It is telling people that we are concerned about immigration reform, but they have not done anything. I, for example, Dwayne, I would still have been in Cayman today, and I want to close on this. I would have still been in Cayman today if I hadn't been blacklisted to say, oh, this guy is saying that he wants to work with Caymanians to help them and so on. So got blacklisted. So I'm now like the other Caymanians. By the way, you should read the article in the Compass, which talks about how many Caymanians are leaving to go and live overseas. Yeah. But even people like me fall into that group. Although I'm not a Caymanian, I also left for precisely the same reason that Caymanians are leaving. Right. So that's a problem that needs to be dealt with, but only by people action.
Yeah, but before you go, I mean, three things to your last point about being blacklisted. I'm reminded of many who have come here, who have my views, and through their demonstration and participation, and champion sort of the Caymanian and the Caymanian interests and the benefit of the Cayman Islands, to feel likewise. Some have left, some have stayed, but always shared that the minute they seemingly publicly align their interests with what is good for the country and its people, they seem to fall to the favor of some. So your example, unfortunately, is one of many. All right, that may preclude others like yourselves from not being so strong in their public advocacy for Cayman and Caymanians. Not that gives you any comfort. But the other things, when you said the government does not want immigration reform, for my benefit only, others may be clear as to what you're saying. Are you talking about the politically elected government, the appointed civil service and its ancillary sort of functions, or both? I mean, when you say the government.
Okay. The principal part I'm referring to of government is the elected government.
Okay. The inference was there. I just wanted to be clear because sometimes people may not, when we say government, what are we referring to, right? Okay. The other point, when you reference marriages of convenience, is it that you think there's a generalization that people are thinking when it comes to marriages of convenience, it's the Caymanian, non-Caymanian, but could it also be two foreign nationals who decide for immigration purposes, and I would suspect that marriages of convenience could be financial purposes as well, they decide to unite, and that what I TV show talked about whole of macaroni. They unite in this thing because it's political expedient, it's economically convenient, it is, a margin of convenience. So is it that this Caymanian, non-Caymanian, or is it potentially two non-Caymanians who are engaged in these margins of convenience?
I think it's both categories, Dwayne.
Okay.
It is both, it is both categories. But let me just say something very quickly regarding the answer to the previous question.
Yes.
The principal people I was talking about are the elected government.
Right.
But also, related to that issue is that, you see, because of the mass grants, mainly because of the mass grants, and also because rollover didn't apply in government, a lot of the officials in government, the top civil servants in government, a lot of them are status holders. And once they got status, they really blocked the young indigenous people who were coming up. That is one. But the other issue as well is status holders, I believe, don't really care too much about immigration reform because they don't have the same feeling that an indigenous Caymanian has to say that this is their turf.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are advising the government. So how it's like the Caymanians have really been left out. The government, which is the government of the politicians, which is supposed to help them, because most of those are indigenous, they have been they've sold out, and then those people who are advising them, some of them are Caymanians, but they don't have power because the status holders are the ones who are wielding the civil service strength in terms of the numbers, and that's where the problem is. Until the political leaders are able to do something positive, it won't work. But let me give you an example. We're talking about the law, right? About the law. How many QCs, indigenous QCs or KCs, are there in the Cayman Islands? Very few.
Very few.
A lot of times when they say, well, there'll be 4 KCs now who will be taking silk. That's the language. When they take silk, because at that point, as you know that, but for some of your listeners, when you take silk is when you become a KC, because then your gown also is made of silk. So those who take silk, it is almost always status holders. Hardly any indigenous Caymanians. You talk about Wade Da Costa, Brian Hunter, Steve McField, David Rich, who is even retired now. Was he ever made a KC? No. What you can do in law is you can say that every time when KCs are designated, you can say that at least half of them shall be Caymanian. Now, some of those Caymanians, of course, might be status holders, but there can be an unwritten rule that there should always be an indigenous Caymanian. These are things that you can do by legislation if you want to do them. In other countries, they've done this. The problem becomes that now the kids growing up in the Cayman Islands, they do not see their own becoming KCs. It grows in their mind that maybe they are not as smart as the foreigners. Now, nobody might have told them that, but when you grow up in a community where your own local heroes are not given those honors, but you are giving it to other people, not only is it insulting to the local people, but also it makes you psychologically skewed.
It's demoralizing, no?
To feel that you are not as smart as other people. In Cayman, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The government is not doing it. This one or most of the other ones. But just to close, governments have done good in Cayman in different aspects. Helped people to buy homes. They've helped with education, although in education there are a lot of shortcomings, because in education they say that about 75% of those institutions that are doing poorly, they are the majority of the people who goes to those institutions are Caymanians. The ones that are doing very well are only about 20%, and the majority of the people who go to those are foreigners. And those are issues that government has to deal with.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. Thank you for your candor. I thank you. And when we pause, quick break, come back. Ms. Dorothy Davis will sit with us. Adasi is our discussion. And as we look at it, that last caller sort of reminded me of something I think Mr. Andrew Martin has said and would say, take that. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments September 4th to the 7th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter Cayman at gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We've got a few minutes with the excellent company of Ms. Dorothy Davis, Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands. I reminded, of your first sort of foray into a studio as you were getting the entity organized and the like, and the commitment, the dedication that, very, very, very commendable,
Thank you.
I know you've got a lot on today. I know a lot coming on for this month, but thanks for a few minutes of your time, and we're looking forward to, as you reminded me, you'll be on the buzz next week.
Right. So. Well, I do appreciate it. I always appreciate, being invited to come on and try to give my time, of my time, wherever possible. It is World Alzheimer's Month, and tomorrow we're launching it with a photo op at Hero Square at 5:30, and that's an open invitation to anyone who's in Georgetown around that time to just come over and so we can take a photo of a group. It's actually a Caribbean initiative this year. We want all places of historical significance in the islands for a photo op to be done. So I said Hero Square must be fitting place that I could think of, at that time.
You're asking people to attend?
Yes, please. We would just show up at 5:30. It's going to take up, I'm thinking 5 minutes. The photographer would just take a snap, Once you're there, you just, well, I'm hoping because he's
15 minutes, how about
15. Okay, let's say 15. I was being
ambitious.
Yes. So it will be 15, as Sterling said. 15 minutes, we hope to get everybody, photo.
Actually, is Junior taking the picture? Because then it could be...
Oh, Junior, no. Yeah. It's...
No, I just teasing.
No.
What do you want us to wear, those who come?
Okay, anything. You just come as you are. Come as you are. It's just to launch our World Alzheimer's Month and to show your support. It shows the significance of people that support our association, and we have great support in the community, corporate and individual.
So those listening recognize that you're wearing the Audacity shirt. It's in purple.
Purple.
Is purple the color?
Yes, purple is our color. Purple is my favorite color.
This happens to
it happens to be my favorite color, and it's a color like many other things. I say it's the color that's used for Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our color or shirt, and it's going to be the dress down shirt also. It's purple usually.
Great. So if they have it, if not, don't let that.
Yeah, you just come. We don't care what you just come looking decent.
Zero Square. What time you want them there?
5:30 to be there at 5:30. Just show up, be there at 5:30, and it's anyone can come out.
Come and show your support, and I gonna allow you as much time you want. Don't want to belabor it, given some of the conversations that we've been having, prior, and people are feeling that things are happening. Maybe there's this, sense of positivity. Maybe it's not, as someone was saying, despair. I like to be positive. You put out good energy.
Yes, and we, one of the sad things about it, we're seeing more diagnosis of, or we're hearing about more diagnosis of dementia. But the plus side about that is that people are being diagnosed. Because when our association started many years ago, people were not being diagnosed, and they would just assume, they have a mental problem. They're crazy. They're going crazy. It's old age. They're senile and all that. But, once you get a diagnosis, then you can start to plan for the future, how the care is going to be done. The person with dementia or diagnosed with dementia can also be included in their choice of care. Do I want to stay home? Do I want to be cared for at home? Do I want two caregivers? Do I want one? Do I want my daughter to care for me?
What can I afford?
Want to be right? Or can you afford it? Should we go to NAU or whatever? Some people, the pride is there and they don't want that. But the care is very expensive. Caring for a person with dementia, because a person with dementia they could be diagnosed today and live for the next 10, 15 years. But need constant care. Yeah. So it is, I mean, when you think about it, if government think about it, it's a very expensive venture. That can be a social service, a social burden. It could be financial burden on a family. It could be, there are lots of things to think of. And even, I mean, look at the medical, medically, people with dementia might have to go to the doctor 2 or 3 times for the month.
Yeah.
Medications are expensive, and if you're not on the government insurance, then what happens? It has to be, funds have to come from somewhere.
And as you remind us, the treatment diagnosis, but also that person who's the primary sort of caregiver. There's a level of training and experience, but also that comes with time. And how do we do that?
Right.
It's something that I think we're not quite yet appreciating, and you did share in the past that it's being diagnosed at an early age.
Yes.
So
and it's not an old. We have to get rid of that thought about it being an old people's disease.
Sadly,
of course, it's more prevalent when you get older. The older you get, it's more prevalent there. Yeah. However, there are people before 65 that are diagnosed with
sadly even younger.
Dementia. Yeah, sadly. 40s and even earlier than that.
Jeez.
We had a young person that passed away. She was in her, probably I think she was probably early 40s. Yeah.
And this is where I don't think that, people appreciate it. I reflect very fondly again on your earlier conversations. And now that you have the Memory Cafe and things that we can do even now, to stave off dementia.
Yeah.
Maybe it's partly that for some of us, if we don't know, we don't ask, we can ignore it, it'll go away, it won't be an issue. For some of us, it's, let's turn every stone over and let's make sure we understand it. There has to be a happy medium somewhere there.
Yeah.
So from an Audacity's perspective, I mean, coming out tomorrow would be a good way of support. As much as we would like, to commit, sometimes we just have other obligations. But what else can we do? What else can you share with us?
Other events that are coming up, I would think. So that is just the launch for a photo opportunity, that we can pass on to Alzheimer's Disease International. We launched the World Alzheimer's Month in the Cayman Islands. And who knows, we might show up, on the on some magazine or
So you were telling me I should comb my hair then if I come. All right.
And then the next event is going to be on Saturday. That's the 7th. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather will be good. It's going to be a seniors exercise class because, again, we're thinking about, movement, moving and thinking. We're the whole body, if you think about it, body, mind, and soul. That's what we say for this month. And it's going to be a Zumba exercise class, and that's from 9 a.m. So 9 to 10 will be the exercise, and then we'll have like a light breakfast from 10 to 11. People can sit around, chat, meet up with friends, and it's at the West Bay Public Beach on that grassy area by Cabana number 10, right out there. So we don't expect people to have to walk all the way to the beach.
To the front, right near the little play
area.
Yeah,
yes.
And exercise thing though.
Yes.
Nice little area.
Yeah, it's a nice and it's cool, shaded area. So that's going to be Saturday the 7th, 9 to 10 exercise, 10 to 11 will be the breakfast. Then on the 15th, we have what we call Praise in Purple. And we go to different churches for that. This one is going to be at East End United Church, and we're inviting people to come out there also, wear your purple, and join Reverend Forrester for your praise and worship. On the 19th now is an awareness meeting in Georgetown, and that's going to be at 6:30 p.m. And it will be, we have a doctor from the HSA and Samantha Connolly who would be presenting at that event.
And she's a pharmacist.
Samantha Connolly, she is many things. She is one of the founding members of our association. She has been there from inception. She is also the deputy chair. She's a lawyer. She's a pharmacist. She's mom. She's many things. She's a very bright girl.
And the reason why.
And a dementia educator.
Yeah. She is incredible. I know her from a distance, and
yes,
the many hats. So thank you.
Yes, she is. She is remarkable. I don't know how she does it, but she does it, and she does it well.
Good genes, good people, an amazing drive.
Yes,
and she's a young, energetic, enthusiastic example of the stock from which we come. Yes. So thank you for celebrating her. All right?
Yes, and then on Friday it's our big day, which is. We say go casual for a cause, dress purple day. And I'm hoping to bring you all some T-shirts that you can dress on that day. So that would be Friday the 20th. And the T-shirts is for a small donation. And
Susan got you covered. Don't worry about that.
Huh?
Susan got you
covered. She got you covered?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll bring some T-shirts here. And
I would joke and say she played a number last night.
Take some photos so we can get those photos, and we share everything that we do. We have to share with Alzheimer's Disease International because it's a worldwide initiative. I don't know whether you want to call it a celebration. It's time to raise awareness and so forth. And of course, some people raise funds. We focus more on education and awareness during the month of September, and celebrating also the caregivers who are there. And then we have on the 21st now, which is World Alzheimer's Day, we have an event for seniors, which is called Wellness and Joy. And we're focusing on the mind, body, and soul at that day. It's at the South Sound Community Center from 10 to 3. And we're going to have a talk about spiritual wellness. We're also going to do like some chair exercise. We have arts and crafts, games, sing along, and we'll do like little mini manicures and so forth. So that's an event for seniors, and we'll talk more about that when I'm on the show.
Do you remember when? What day are you on next week?
Yes, I'm on the 10th. Is it the 10th? I think.
Next Tuesday?
Yep. In the morning.
On the Business Buzz.
On the Business Buzz.
Just a quick promo.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, Miss Dorothy will join our Business Buzz program. So.
Yeah, and then we have another dementia awareness meeting that's in Northside, and we're hoping that we can get the people from Bordentown, East End, and then to come out to Northside. And again, that will be with Samantha and another doctor also. And we always have the Q&As after, and these sessions are very good, and everything that we just have. So nobody have to go home and worry about dinner and anything come out. We'll always have like a nice little meal at the end of the sessions or even before the sessions and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, and of course, these events will be on the bulletin board, and we'll also share them in the constituents' office and also with the community development officers. We want to we're trying not to destroy too many trees. So we're using social media as much as possible so that we don't have to print a lot of information.
And I appreciate you sharing out this. Something that I marvel at when you were getting the organization launched and the continued training that you do, not just you individually, but you in particular. It reminds us of how important it is to have something credible, but also have the competence of the people who are committed to it, being equipped. And I still think, wow, many of us set up things, we're part of things, but there isn't very, well, let me be direct, there's very little engagement on our part in terms of keeping current. And what you do, to me, is akin to that professional who has, in order to remain licensed, do continued education.
Yes,
and
thank you.
That is amazing, man. It's encouraging.
Yeah, and we have to keep up with my training. I have to do that for us to continue to be a part of Alzheimer's Disease International, which is the federation of Alzheimer's associations around the world, not only in the UK, around the world, and they're also in relations with World Health Organization. I do have to do. We are actually assessed. Every year, we have to provide our financials, our reports, everything every year. And I also, because I'm also, I do training with the caregivers, I have to do that that training every single year and get my little certificate.
And I like how she says that, right? Because the training isn't, check this box and, sign here.
No, it's our train. I can source the training from different places, but it have to be something that is approved of. So, like I do through University of Iowa, it's called Powerful Tools for Caregivers, and I've done another one through a university in Australia, which is approved by Alzheimer's Disease International also.
And that's where there's that credibility. But it also gives people the reassurance that sometimes people just show up and that's it. They're just there. Right. I recognize your efforts, so thank you.
You're welcome.
For many of these activities, people who are listening, and we're talking to Ms. Dorothy Davis, we're talking about Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of Cayman Islands. They might say, well, these activities are for Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's caregivers, but I can see us as a public, not just as potential volunteers, but just awareness.
Yes, and they're not only that. That is also when we have our member cafes. Persons think, I'm not going to bother to go to that because it's just for people with dementia. No, our member cafes for anyone 60 and over. Yeah. And the reason why we say 60 and over is because we're focusing more on the seniors, but we don't turn anyone away. If you're 40 and you're 25, when you come and you enjoy the event. But we encourage persons. The older you get, people say, I'm losing my memory. We think about your cognitive functions and abilities and so forth. So you want to come out. These are some of the things you could do. You wouldn't think that these things help you.
Yeah, but they do.
Sing-alongs.
Yes.
Storytelling. Playing jacks. Playing cards, playing dominoes, playing bingo, which is a big thing, playing bingo. All of those things you're thinking, you're using your brain and so we want to introduce it. Crafting, sewing, the little things that you pick up and you're cutting out and making, you're thinking about what you're doing and things. All of those things help. Now, is it going to help you, stop you from having dementia? I'm not here to say that, but it does help you. And it also provides some social activities and so forth, because that is one of the things that in Cayman, I think, we are not socially active as we were when I was growing up. I remember every Sunday, my mom went to visit people. She dragged us all out.
Visiting.
You went visiting. People you don't even see people now unless you go to the hospital or the supermarket.
Or worse.
Or a funeral, which is so sad.
Yeah.
You know, you can drop in on a person and just say hello. I mean, I have to say that, you know, just drop in and just say hello. You don't have to take an hour, but hello, here is the bread, or here is some flowers I just picked in my yard, or something. You know, do some, even seniors that are shut in.
But even that word alone, you know, in church we're praying for the shut-ins. Yeah, but did you visit them?
Yeah,
you know,
and they don't visit them until they're dead, or in their casket, and they don't, you know.
Too late then.
It's too late, yes. Yeah. I always say, and that's another thing I want to say, give me my flowers and my hugs and my kisses while I'm alive, and I can say, yes, thank you, it's so nice to see you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I say the same, except, you know, I replace flowers unless they're chocolate.
Yeah,
give me my chocolate. and come enjoy with me.
Yes.
Miss Dorothy, we have a break to take. A couple more minutes when you come back, we can talk with you.
Yeah, sure.
You have time? And then I won't keep you beyond 2 o'clock. How about that?
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
I know you're gracious and generous with your time, but we'll be mindful. So, Miss Dorothy will join us right after. We'll stay till 2, and then we do some open line at 2 to 2:30. And Susan, you got fish tea? All right, don't worry, my brothers make the best, so I'll get some. All right, let's pause and take a break. When we come back, more talk today.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, C&B customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Attention gamers! The Caribbean's largest esports tournament and gaming convention is back! Gamers Bay 8, hitting the Cayman Islands this September 28th and 29th. Get ready to battle it out in FC24, NBA 2K24, Fortnite, and more for a chance to win your share of $10,000 in cash and prizes. Plus, enjoy free play on everything from classic games to the latest hits. Dive into VR and rev up in our sim racing zones. But that's not all. Meet your favorite gaming influencers, including Beck Brojack, Anything Alexia, and Oroflow. Don't miss out. Visit gamersbayevent.com now for tickets and all the details. Sponsored by NetGeeks Media, the Ministries of Investment, Tourism, Border Control, Youth and Sports, Sustainability, Cayman Finance, and Radio Cayman. Level up at Gamers Bay 8, where the Caribbean comes to play.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Creative Fashion School is open and ready for registration. Come and learn a lifetime skill. Sewing classes will start in September. Our after-school sewing program, your choice of 1 day per week, Monday to Friday, Monday or Tuesday. Join us for the advanced and pattern making class. Wednesday or Thursday, you can register for basic sewing, dressmaking, and tailoring classes. Come Saturday, it is time for home decor class. Don't forget to inquire about private classes. Sign up or call 546-6962 or 928-0344. Creative Fashion School is located on David Foster Drive, Bacadere Warehouse, Unit 216, upstairs. Creative Fashion School.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And as we reminded you going into the break, Ms. Dorothy Davis from the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of Cayman Islands is our guest until 2. And then after the headlines at 2, we'll have some open line. The discussion sometimes of Alzheimer's and dementia, we say as if they're one and the same. And I'm not going to speak from a medical perspective, no, ask you. But there were two immediate questions. Are they the same? And if they're not, by sort of combining them, does that help or hinder?
No, they're not the same, and I think it's sometimes used interchangeably. But how, me not being, not a medical person, however, in my way of explaining it is that you think of, you have asthma, or there's cancer, but every cancer, you could have different types of cancer. So dementia is the umbrella term. And with dementia, you can have Alzheimer's. It's just a symptom. Alzheimer's, you can have vascular dementia, frontotemporal dementia. There are many different, and Alzheimer's is the most common form, that and vascular dementia. Yeah. So if that answers it.
That helps.
Yeah, helps. That's the best way of explaining it.
It certainly helps, and I get people to appreciate it. And I like the fact that you remind us, we would often say that's for those who are older.
Right.
Sadly, it seems for whatever reasons, it's being diagnosed or at least affecting those that are younger. But anyway, we're going to be positive, and that's why, if I might ask, this term neuroplasticity, the fact that you do the memory cafe,
right,
helps us all. Those games that we play with our young children, where they turn over and then they turn it back over and then they turn over another tile and turn it over and they match.
Yeah.
Doing that through their lives helps,
Yes, it does. And you can, get one of those and play it with grandma, grandpa, whoever is senior. But even take your children and play with some seniors, or invite seniors in your community to do it. I mean, have a games night and invite 2 of the senior people in your community.
All right. Ms. Dorothy, we have a caller joining us.
Sure.
And if you can hear without putting them on, if not, you probably make those headsets look good. Let's see. Oh, yeah, definitely. All right. Ms. Dorothy Davis is our guest. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Cresswell Powery.
Hey, Mr. Cresswell, sir, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Cresswell.
Yeah, I'm good. Well, I say I'm good, but I'm bedridden now, so I can't get out into the
really? Sorry to hear that.
Into the functions. Yeah, I've been confined to bed now for a little over 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
I would like to tell the audience out there that those get-togethers were real good. I didn't have Alzheimer's, but I certainly enjoyed it. And I used to take a small part in the program as well, reading clean jokes.
Yes, and we miss those. We really do. I always ask about you and your wife, because you did come and you took part, and we really appreciate. We always welcome, our seniors to come out and take part in those memory cafes, like you said. I mean, they do benefit everyone that comes out to them.
Everyone. Yeah, you don't have to suffer Alzheimer's.
No.
Yeah, you can make a contribution. Whatever kind of ailment you might have, you can get a real good benefit from attending these meetings. And I certainly miss it. And my wife is not able to attend because she doesn't drive anymore.
Okay.
So that puts an obstacle in her way. So and I can't drive. I gave up my license.
Okay.
So, but I certainly enjoyed it, and I would encourage the public to get involved.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Okay, have a good time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cresswell. I'm hoping that we could come and probably pay a visit to you sometime.
Well, that'll be fine.
All right.
That'd be fine.
Thank you.
The time that I'll give you a time that's probably not so convenient is between 12 and 4.
Okay.
12, but in the morning or any time after 4 o'clock is fine.
Okay. All right. Thanks. You take care.
I'll appreciate visit from in and everyone.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And as he shared, the idea that these activities, or whether you are coming with your parent or you're bringing your children, it helps. It also gives you a better understanding and appreciation as to what many of us. I liked the example that you gave us long ago. You're in the supermarket, and the person in front of the line is having a little bit of challenge, or maybe you're the cashier. We use that word these days, right?
Yeah, cashier. Yeah.
And you are cognizant of it, at least aware that you can be a little bit more patient. Naturally, that should be the thing that comes in a way, but we seem to be
we're
less
lacking
respectful.
that now with everything.
Yeah.
You have limited time to do everything. I don't know how people manage. I mean, that's added stress. Like, you have 1 hour for lunch. You spend 30 minutes in the 30 minutes driving from point A to B. And then you have 15 minutes, you go into the supermarket, you have to stand in line. So people don't have, unfortunately,
let's make time, And
you need to make time, and you need to make time because our people are living longer. So we have more. The number of older people that we have in our islands right now, and older people that live in well and can still get out and about. We still need to give, even though they're in, just give them 5 more minutes to make up their mind about things if they're in front of us, or just say, let me stand back, you go ahead, or something. All of those things are missing, and I think it's because of culture is so. I always say cultural differences for many. Our children, what we were taught as children is not being taught now.
You can't teach what you don't know.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm hoping that we will volunteer, partner, sponsor, support, help you to promote, be educated, because we're going to benefit, but we're also going to be impacted by it.
Yes.
And I think an impact can be positive or it can be negative.
Yeah. And I want to give you an example. One example that was given to me there was in the churches, we want to include people still go to church, and there's someone's diagnosed with dementia, and she's walking up and down, was a lady walking up and down the church aisle and so forth, and you church members are upset, but the pastor is still preaching and so forth. They're upset, so ask the usher to walk her out. But of course, she walks her out, and I don't know whether she went home, but she comes back the other time. So they found out now. She does that all the time. And she's looking for someone, but that someone is no longer in church, whether that someone has died or whatever. And they eventually found out that she has dementia. So I said, well, this is where the pastor needs to be educated and so forth. They could either be somebody that's coming with her to church, because she shouldn't stop coming to church. They could be like, they have these rooms where they have for babies and things. They could have a room with some sensory things in it, maybe a Bible, something, or just say she's included in the Bible study, in the Bibles. There's so many things that you can do, that a little thing, a little change that would make up that person still want to come to church, and there is their whether still appreciating their religious beliefs and so forth.
I recognize the time, right? I wrote this down earlier doing one of the calls. I wouldn't say which one. And callers after callers sort of alluded to it. We make accommodation and we provide access for many. From I can't call them developers anymore, perhaps the destructors. That should offend some people. We do these things, but our own. from a student in the classroom to that person in the church pew, right, in the congregation. What are we doing, as you shared, to acknowledge them, to accommodate them, to give them access, to let them feel included, right? Now, we're not talking about allowing someone to be disruptive. We're not allowing someone to present a harm to that person or others. But what are we doing? We're castigating and relegating them to the margins, and we're disrespecting and discarding, making them feel rejected and disrespected.
Right.
I'm feeling this thing in me. I know it wasn't the coffee.
Yeah, yeah, and it was quite sad for me because for me going back to, and everything points back to me, as I said, until some people, they don't think about dementia a family member could have until that family member is diagnosed. Then everybody say, oh, but I need to know this about dementia, I need to know that, and somebody, how can you help me, and so forth. Of course, we're here to help everyone on this island.
Well,
but
thank you.
We appreciate people coming to us for support, and we encourage you to come support. You don't need to be Caymanian or whatever. Every single person on this island,
and
rich or poor.
Like. You've included us all, and thank you for the love and the hospitality, but also the respect.
Yes.
As we close out the discussion, Ms. Dorothy, will you remind us of the photo op and anything else you want to share?
We'll put them on, and the other one is just on the 7th, at Saturday the 7th at Public Beach. The grassy area is a seniors exercise at 9 a.m. All the events will be on social media, Radio Cayman, and so forth.
Right. While we're here to help in any which way, we commend you and all your wonderful team for your continued dedication, but the way you have approached it. Always a pleasure, Ms. Dorothy.
Thank you, and I always appreciate Radio Cayman.
Well, we're here.
My first job in the working world.
We're like family, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is my family.
We're going to pause and take a break. We're going to take the call after, so stay tuned. A fantastic news team is hard at work, keeping us informed, so join us after.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. Phase 3 of the Central Business Development Enhancement Project in Georgetown gets underway in mid-September and continues through the first week of December. Phase 3 includes improvements such as new lighting installations, upgrades to underground utilities, and new pavers. It is part of the larger Georgetown Revitalization Initiative to make the capital more vibrant, pedestrian-friendly, and aesthetically pleasing. In regional headlines, Guyana's gross domestic product is estimated to have grown by 49.7% in the first half of 2024. That includes oil and gas revenues. The non-oil economy also saw growth, with an estimated increase of 12.6%, up from 11.7% last year. The Trinidad and Tobago government is predicting an increase in average natural gas output for this year, confirming an increased output in July and August after output plunged in June. In a statement, the Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries said it has taken note of recent reports regarding natural gas production and is advising that natural gas production for the month of June was affected by the conduct of maintenance activities by 3 of the major upstream gas producers, resulting in a 22% reduction in production when compared to the previous month. It says this decrease in natural gas production was transparently reflected in the consolidated natural gas monthly bulletins for the period January through June 2024. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344.
That's 945-8344.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just the delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line, 949-8037, 949-6990. That's 949-6990. Or you can call us on the flow toll-free line at 1-800-534-8255. That's 1-800-534-8255. You can WhatsApp call. That's 925-3261. And with that, let's take this WhatsApp. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Sterling. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good, man. I was hoping to catch your guest, the excellent Miss Dorothy, and her Alzheimer's campaign. That's something that really touches me in many ways. First of all, my grandmother was the first person and the only person up close that I've, dealt with or witnessed Alzheimer's,
wow,
for a while, for a duration. And I don't have to go into the sensitivities, you have to, they go back to the stage of a child, 2-3 years old,
Sometimes younger
you have
even.
to treat them with, Yep. You have to give them extra love, extra patience, all that great stuff, right?
And some
Because
are
they're still the same.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, and some are different. Some may get agitated. Some may become more somber. It's as you said, you just need to be extra loving and sensitive to them, right? That's more sensitivity.
Well, I think they all go through those stages, and that's part of it. You see, you gotta the memory loss. If they eat their Jello and their banana at 10 and at 10:15, they swear to you they never ate breakfast all day.
Yep.
You can't argue with them and say, no, you just ate your banana. You have to go get another banana and peel it and cut it up and talk to them and, let them eat a little piece and soothe them and don't agitate them.
Yeah. Love and sensitivity, right? Yeah.
Right, because their memory, their reasoning is gone back to, 2-3-year-old child. If they say they didn't eat a banana, no, don't argue. Just get them another banana.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, though, that touched me, that Miss Dorothy said in a negative way, was to hear that I came on church in the middle of a service with a person, obviously.
Well, she didn't say I came on church, but she said a church, so that we will say in Cayman.
Okay.
I want to add that qualifier
I
because
assumed it was Cayman.
Yeah. It would have been
I would hope. Right. I would hope it wouldn't be a Cayman church, but I tell you what, I've witnessed a similar thing in a Cayman church. When my son was 12 years old, one Friday evening, he decided he wanted to go to youth group at the church.
Mm-hmm.
He got ready, got dressed, everything is good. I took him there, took him to the door, and I saw the youth pastor at the door. And the youth pastor said, okay, wait, how old is he? I said, he's 12. He said, no, he cannot come to youth group until he's a teenager. So he turned my son away at the church door, a church that my family helped establish in the community. And I guess what? My son never went back to that church again. And that was years ago.
He's not 12 anymore.
He's not 12 anymore. But that experience was very negative. And every time I see the pastor, I reported it to the pastor that I know well there. And every time I see him, could be in the supermarket, I remind him of that thing. I said, you all still turning away kids at the door trying to get into the youth group. He go, you still have that, you still talk, I will talk about it until you change that policy. Because whether it's that my son or the lady with Alzheimer's walking down the aisle in church, what does the Bible say? What did Jesus say about children? Rebuke them not. As such as the kingdom of God. All those good things he spoke about children. So a person with Alzheimer's is like a child again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, there needs to be a lot more love. By the way, I think you may have made a mistake with the timing for the thing in town. You said tomorrow, but it's actually Friday.
You mean
Is it Friday?
For Miss Dorothy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to repeat what she shared.
Just double check.
No, hang on a second. So you're talking about Alzheimer's photo op.
The photo op.
Okay, so let me share with you what Miss Dorothy gave me, and this is what she shared just now. So it's Alzheimer's awareness. Right. It says September is World Alzheimer's Month. The public is invited to a photo op for the launch of World Alzheimer's Month on Wednesday, 4th September at 5:30 p.m. at Hero Square, Georgetown. Today's Tuesday, right?
Okay. I thought Friday was mentioned. Never mind, that's my mistake. Maybe I'm getting a text.
No, she has a number of other things coming up. We will, not only have them on our bulletin board, but she does have a number of things, and we're gonna get it. What I don't want to do now, because not you, because you have an incredible memory, right? You talked about when as you just shared, but tomorrow I'll reference other things that she shares with us. But tomorrow, 5:30, Hero Square. It's just a photo op. Come as you are. Wear your purple if you have, but just come out 5:30 and take the picture with them.
Okay, so that's a good reminder anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I won't hold you up except to say one of my fondest memories in dealing with older people was when I visited Miss Annie Helderboden in the Pines. I knew her. I worked with her when she was in government. And I don't know if she wasn't talking or very responsive, but I know she was enjoying the piano music. I think the late great Miss Olive Miller would play the piano, and Miss Annie would relax in her recliner. I took some photographs. I hope some black and white photographs. I hope I still have them somewhere. But that's one of my fondest memories, apart from my own grandparents, as I said. And also, lots of great people in our community, especially that I knew, Northwest Point, some dear leaders, and they're passing Watercourse Road all over the district. They're passing almost every day. You hear someone passing, which is sad. But it's even sadder if you don't pay them,
But
the homage and respect that they deserve.
Exactly. And as you shared, right, that the idea that in our communities, hopefully it still happens, but thankfully I've seen it at work, and Ms. Dorothy has reminded us, and through her organizations, continued education and awareness, we become cognizant, but we also need to be tolerant, respectful, acknowledging. And you would have people say in your district, where the community understands what's happening, you see them maybe away from home by themselves, you know the person, you recognize, usually the son or the daughter or the spouse or someone who should be with the person, and you make sure that usually was the elderly person is back home. The person can walk independently, is out and about, but all of a sudden now is far from home. Why is that? And I think that's where we need to get back to that respect that you shared, but the recognition, the awareness, the love, the kindness, the sensitivity, as you referenced,
Yep, and I mean, it doesn't matter where you see them. I saw an elderly resident this morning, and I went to speak with him. He didn't remember my name, but he remembered my grandfather's name, so he knew who I was by face, although I've spoken to him many times. But just keep that connection alive, and just a tap on the shoulder or a hug or a handshake shows them that they are still appreciated.
But it's like what you shared. You went, you saw the person. As Miss Dorothy referenced, the visiting that we, as young children, probably reluctantly did. Some of us probably look forward to going to some places because that way you will get a little treat. Others, we didn't because you had to sit there and listen to the conversation, but you went.
Yeah.
Whether that's a practice.
And you get to know your cousins and friends and
But to my point, if you are as a wider community, know that, Mr. John or Miss Mary or Mr. Peter or, Miss whatever is now in the supermarket parking lot or is wandering the aisles, you know your community. In the private sector, in the financial services, we talk about this KYC. Well, maybe it's more CYA, but, in knowing your customer, you do this. But what about knowing your community? In knowing that this person is out, making sure the person is safe, knowing something. It's about community, as you shared, the connection and the respect. So thanks for reminding us of that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you want to share?
Blessings.
Yes.
Have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, man. And I'm looking forward to whenever you call again and talking about, one of the most important topics, education. So let us know when you want to engage. All right, we're going to pause, take our break. And when we return, no. Oh, thank you, Miss Susan. It's not even Christmas. And she says we can talk until 2:30. Wow. You see, never assume, Never assume. She's on the ball. So, without any, sort of interruption and interludes, intermissions, or whatever else you want to insert there, let's have some continued discussion. To the last caller's point, though, and other things, and maybe go back to conversations prior again. Please join Ms. Dorothy and the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association 5:30 tomorrow for the photo op. As she says, just a photo op. Come out, make Junior take a picture, and I know that story. Ask somebody, they might tell you. I got a couple of good friends who are great photographers, but there are many budding in the building as well. But to the callers earlier, who were talking about the opportunities for Caymanians and young Caymanians, like Mr. Belika shared, who are feeling disenfranchised. They don't see a future in that sense of being displaced. Maybe they're becoming despondent. Is that deliberate? Is there something happening in the society that are causing their people to feel disrespected and discarded? And it may be just not deliberate. But are we conscious of it? Now that we're hearing it, what are we going to do about it? And in our response, are people going to say, well, wait a minute, we need to join and help it? Or are we going to hinder? And are we going to castigate the people who are standing up for others in our communities? What is transpiring? So with that, quick message from someone. I don't think I need to read it verbatim to recall what was shared. They talked about the education system and the notion, I think, the message came in when the caller was talking about the reception in the schools. And this individual said, well, we don't have a middle school anymore. So now we have, 10, 11-year-old students going into high school where they're 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Is that a good thing? Do we need to have that? He called it junior high. So I presume that's, the middle school. So you have that primary school up until, 10, 11, and then you have that middle school up until 12, 13 or whatever it is. Then high school up until 16, 17, 18, whatever that is. That sort of intervening period so that you're not putting, that 10-year-old with the 17-year-old. Something to consider. What was it, the other point that message had? So the middle school and, and he also referenced the brain drain. And I wrote it down, look at that, in school, I think it was the same message, talked about, again, picking up from one of the callers, that having a challenge getting Caymanian children, not just in the primary schools, but even earlier. No space for the Caymanian child because, the allegation is others are taking up that space. Let's take this call and see if I can find that message and then read it to you. But hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Sterling. I'm glad you mentioned the middle school because I've been wanting to talk about that for some time, but keeps slipping me.
Well, your I'm going to premise that your call sparked that person to write in and say, what about that? So, see, this is where we combine, our strengths and we collaborate and we end up with something that is actually, beneficial.
Yes. Sterling, the worst thing they could have ever done where they did it, to take away that, what do you call it again, the middle school. They should never have taken that away to put these little, I call it little babies, 11 years old, into a high school with 15 and 16, probably almost 16 plus children.
Yeah. I mean, even that.
There's no one to help protect them on the grounds.
Yeah. That 10-year-old interacting with a 12 or 13-year-old can be an issue, but as you emphasize, in that 10, 11-year-old with the 16, 17-year-old, just huge difference physically and otherwise.
It is because, when school opened last week, we have a lot of new students, and I tell the older kids that they're, help take care of these newcomers, help them on the ground if they feel that they're lost or need some help. Try to assist them in every way that you can. They look at me like I was crazy. They look at me like they were crazy. I say, I'm not crazy, but I say, I'm quite sure you had a problem finding yourself around at the school at some point in time. So why not help your brothers and sisters in the compound, especially for the first going off of the month to get them, comfortable and do not bully them. And another one, I said, do not even think about bullying these children. And I told the kids on the bus, I said, if anybody bully you on this compound, come and tell me, and I will report it, because bullying is not acceptable in no part of the world.
Yeah, I'm big in.
Yeah,
no, go ahead. I'll say it, but go ahead.
And where Cayman came up with this bullying, I don't know, because Sterling, what they do is take the children's school bag and hold on to it, throw it a mile away, make them go and pick it up. They take their lunch money from them. They bombard them. They pick on them and all that kind of stuff, which is uncalled for.
Yeah.
Which is uncalled for. So these kids should, all of these schools, arranging and building schools and teachers raise the pay and so forth, get back the school, George Hicks, for these kids that come out of primary school at the age 11. John Gray is no place for them. Yeah. John Gray is no place for them. I have seen too much. I've heard too much. And I'm tired of the stuff that these children go through. Even a 13-year-old sometime and 15-year-old go through things too. But sometimes, Sterling,
Yeah.
The majority of these kids like to be followers. They don't want to be leaders.
Yeah.
And they get in a group and they got to do what their friends say to do. And then the parents need to come in on that part and say, you know what? You're going to school for education. Stay in the education system. Do not get involved with who wants to come out of the ring and act the fool while you're in school.
Can I ask you, right? And if it's not something that you want to answer now, you want to reflect on, that's fine. I'm inclined to inquire so that we as a public start to speak, very openly. We don't need to talk about the names of the people or even the schools. Not yet, right? But increasingly, those of us who are connected to the educational establishment, public and private, who volunteer, who coach, who do things, we see certain things. We inquire about certain things. And then when something very unbecoming transpires, then it becomes in the public and there's an uproar and an outcry, and then it's almost a knee-jerk reaction. So if you can, and if you wish, just generalizing, what are some of the things that you see happening in schools? You talked about the school bag. You may want to give some thought and not reference it now. But
Sterling, I have seen so much.
Yeah.
I have felt so much. And I have been so disrespectful in a lot of capacities.
Disrespected is what you mean. Yeah.
Disrespected. And if I was to go and tell you anything, believe me,
right,
I would not have a job after 3:30 this evening.
Okay, so let me...
I'm hoping that I live long enough to retire completely from the system, which I enjoy my job. I love working with the children. I get attached to them. I care for them. But I'm not going to prolong their disrespectfulness to me as an adult. And you have to give respect to receive respect.
Right.
But I could write a book.
I think in what you shared, there's a lot that has been said. And the reason is I think we like sometimes to talk about the bad, but we also ignore that it needs to be addressed, right?
Right.
So in that, I have another question, but let me not ask that now.
But Sterling, before you go to that, you can ask me.
No, I won't know.
No, you have to ask me. I already push it out the figure and ask. But I want to say this, that when you're having trouble and you try to go to the higher ones to help with the trouble, you may as well fight the battle to the best of your ability with respect and protect yourself at the same time and do what you have to do as a warden or a driver. After that question, don't go with that. You better ask.
Well, you just answered part of it. Let me not ask for a number of reasons, right? And for me, and this is just me, it's not about semantics. We like to assign words. You referenced the word warden. The minute I hear that. Let me not say we. I hear that. You're thinking prison. It's a prison warden, right? And let me ask this supplementary. Do you think we understand as a country the social dynamic that is unfolding? We look at our schools and do we see the demographic? Do we see the disposition? Do we see the growing divide? Is that reflective of our workplace and our wider communities? Do you think we're cognizant of that?
Sterling, to answer that question, I feel like people do not understand what a bus driver is and what a bus warden is on doing a job on a daily basis while school is open. There's all kind of pros. I don't know if I'm using the right word. There's all kind of pros and cons to this job. But a lot of parents and a lot of students think, and a lot of people outside looking in think that a bus warden job is easy. But I just want to tell Cayman today, a bus warden job is not easy when you got 30, 40 kids in your hand. It's your responsibility to take them home safely on a daily basis. And why they hire a bus warden is because the buses cannot hold the seatbelt and they don't have any cameras on the buses. So if people say that bus warden job is easy, they got another guest coming. Because what you have to deal with is a lot of different personalities.
Right.
All of them throw back on you when they're ready, and they snap at you when you're least expecting. You look at a little habanero and say, oh, he is so quiet and sweet. But when he gets to the point that he got to open his mouth, you're like, whoa, really? That coming from you?
and this is, I appreciate you sharing that, because I think this is something that we're not acknowledging. Maybe some of us are not aware of what's happening. For whatever the reasons, right? We've seen a change mindset, mentality, behavior, disposition within all of us, right? And is it something that we now need to come to grips with and figure out how to respond?
Well, to respond, Sterling, with schools, period, we have to get the parents right in the middle of everything.
There it
Because
is.
if your child can come home and lie to you about a warden or a driver or a teacher, and you don't come and get the full the truth of it, then you know right then that you believe your child, and you don't care what the other people are saying.
Right.
But you must remember that as a child, and if you got you got bus warden and driver and a teacher telling you practically the same thing, something got to be true from those three people.
Yeah. But there's also, I mean, you are right, and as we close our discussion, I try to do so on time today, there's also potentially the opportunity that the child is telling the truth, even if it's about another adult, another parent, a teacher, a coach, a bus warden, a driver. But you are right, we need to be objective and involved. I thank you for you sharing, not just the respectful way in which you do it, but the courageous manner that you share. Hopefully will encourage other people to take a blinders off.
When I retire, I'm going to call Radio Cayman and write a book on air.
Okay, well, what you do now is keep notes so you can reference it.
No, they're all up my head. I hope I don't get to the position that I start to forget, because I feel for those people. And I know if I live long enough, I know I'll probably get in that position too. I hope
let's be positive.
Happen.
And let's pray.
Things happen, but God is good. So
all the time, man. But thank you, okay?
Okay, take care and have a good one.
You too. And thanks again to you and others who have that, as the caller shared, that a genuine love and concern for our children and our wider community, and by extension, trying to figure out how do we do things. And it's becoming increasingly frustrating. It's often, relayed that, had we understood and looked back and knew, we would have done it differently. Well, let's stop and reflect in understanding two things. One, we cannot ring the bell. We can't rewind the hands of time. You can't change what happened. You can't undo. And two, as much as you plan and prepare for the future, you can't predict it. And challenge as it may be, as much as we embrace the present and anticipate the future, we need to be mindful that our actions are going to have consequences. In many instances, they're foreseeable, but some are untold. Now, what are we doing? And as much as we draw alongside to support, nurture, love, and assist in all those things as we should, sometimes we need to draw alongside and correct. And it's not just the young person that needs that guidance and correction. Sometimes it's the adult. Sometimes it's ourselves. We've got a lot that has happened in this community that we are unwilling to acknowledge. And if we can't acknowledge it, we won't never ever be able to address it. Things need to change, and they need to change for the better, but they need to change that we are coming together because we see the direction isn't one that is desirable. One that our forefathers would be, as they say, just rolling in the graves. Let's make it better, people. We can do it. It's not talk. Faith without works is dead, they say. So let's do something, and let's do it now. Hey, join me start tomorrow morning for the record. Come back for talk today after the midday news. We're looking forward to having you share with us. Until then, have a blessed, safe, productive, and very enjoyable rest of the day. See you soon, God's willing.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.